and get it on, will ya? Woo. When the blow up now, everybody's so unusual with it. Shit. But said times in his rhymes, cause his memories. We running through New York, so you.
Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So I thought I would do this video to let many of you guys know that now we have the Porsche 911 now complete. It's now sitting here in the workshop with the other Porsche, as many of you guys can see. And I'm very, very happy to finally have it complete. And when I say complete, I mean everything complete. So it's engine rebuild, everything in the interior, all the dash lights are now off. Did have the airbag light on, that's now sorted. The window was broken, so the window regulator was completely messed up. Changed that as well. Changed the switches as well that I had, because obviously the switches were temperamental. Everything's now fully working the way it should be. Obviously, I did take this around the block and it performs absolutely brilliantly. The amount of power this thing has is absolutely incredible. You know, I know many of you like to think BMW is fast, but when you drive one of these, because of how light they are and because they're mid-engine, you actually feel the power in this a lot more than you do in any BM. This, you actually feel the power, and that's purely because it's a mid-engine car, it's lighter, and obviously it just performs a lot better. But obviously, as many of you guys know, it was an X-Track car, and where I've had to take it back to put it back to stock, and obviously I want to get it set up for fast road use, not a track setup. Obviously, I've had to lower the struts because the last owner actually knocked the strut so high to make the handling a lot stiffer and improved for track. Obviously, where I've had to lower the struts, obviously I changed all the control arms on the front and the rear. The tracking is all over the place. So when I'm driving and putting my foot down, the car's trying to go all over the place into curbs and all over the road. So I need to get that sorted because that is a major issue. Obviously, I've got the new number plates on there now. The full car sorted, it is ready to go for MOT, but obviously I need it to go and be tracked. I have a specialist garage that does these, especially like this one as well. Round here where I am, they mostly specialize in Porsches, McLarens and everything. So they know how to set the handling up for this perfectly the way I need it. And they've also got my tracking for this Boxster on their system. So I've asked them to set this up the same exact way as this. So it should be easy for them anyway. They just follow the same settings from this to that. And then I'll have two cars that handle and perform exactly the same. Now, obviously everything's not, I would say, perfect. Obviously it's got one issue, which is common, and it seems to happen to a lot of people who seem to rebuild these cars. It isn't just me. Obviously, it's got a small oil leak coming from the cam cover. It's nothing to be overly concerned about, and it's nothing that's going to stop me driving the car. It's only losing probably about, I don't know, probably 2 inches of oil over time, and that's when the engine's off, it's leaking out. It's come from the cam cover, because if many of you guys don't know, on these Porsche engines, there's a valley where obviously the engine lays flat and the oil goes up towards obviously the cylinder heads and through the valleys, through the timing chain and all the tensioner guides onto obviously the hydraulic lifters and the cams. And obviously it sits there the whole time, especially when the engine's off, until it all runs back down to the sump. And obviously that's where it's leaking out from a small gap on the cam cover, just basically where the chains are. It's very, very common. It's nothing to be concerned about. Obviously, to do it, you have to drop the engine again and to remove the cam cover. Not hard. Drop the engine down, remove the cam cover, reseal it, and put the engine back up. Just leave it where it is, so you don't even have to re-guide it back in. It just drops back in itself. But obviously, it's not something I'm going to do now because I want to enjoy this car. It's not going to stop it being MOT'd. It's not losing a huge amount of oil. It's still drivable. If it was a huge amount, then I would have to get on with it. But it's not a huge amount, and it happens to everybody because everyone, even myself, always tries to be so careful about putting that Loctite 5900 on, because what you don't want is to put too much on that ends up clogging your oil passages, clogging the oil valleys, getting onto your camshafts, clogging your lifters. So you end up being so careful where you put it, and that's what happened with me. I didn't put enough, and obviously where it's on bank one, where it's the scavenger pump side, it's very, very hard to put enough there because the scavenger pump goes in as a hole. It's a hole like a circle piece, and it connects on to the exhaust sprocket, and you can't seal that up enough, and I think that's where it's leaking from. So I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to try and see what I can do to seal that up better, because it seems like everyone seems to have a leak from that side all the time, especially on bank one. It's not just me, there's other people on YouTube that rebuild these and end up with that same leak. On bank two, however, you don't, because it's obviously got a tandem pump and obviously got an alignment dowel there, which you can rub the silicone around there and stop the leak so it doesn't happen on that side. But bank one seems to be very, very common for a culprit for everybody. Not major, as I said, something I'll get onto later on. But apart from that, the car is now fully sorted. Everything is new. I finally took this 911 from a track car back to a road car. Everything in the interior is sorted. I think the only thing I've got to do is now upgrade it to the PCCM Plus with the Apple CarPlay and the DAB. I've got to order that to wait for that to come so I can change that over. But apart from that, guys, this car is fully sorted. New window regulator, airbag lights out, new window switch, engine's fully rebuilt. It's got everything brand new. I couldn't be any happier. It performs well. That's why I took it on the road, just to test everything works. It shifts all the gears properly because I changed all the gearbox fluid as well, all the diff fluid. Everything has been changed and I'm over the moon. The new plates make it look a lot more tidier now than what it did when it come here. Just everything's absolutely incredible. You know, it's already had new tires when I got it from obviously the previous owner who put them on. So I didn't have to worry about changing that. The wheels just need refurbing. Again, I've got someone for that. And a bit of body work here and there. It was all over the place to the point. Very hard to even be able to show you because I forget where it is. Because it's all minor bits that I want addressed to make it perfect. Apart from that, this 911's done. So many of you are going to ask me now, what's actually next? So now the lift is back free. What's going to be next is we are going to be getting the E61 on there because I need to do the gearbox oil change on it. I need to have a look underneath. Obviously, I need to sort out the air suspension as well, which I might end up converting it to springs. There's a lot I want to do with that car. So that's what's going to be next. Obviously, the E60 has to come in as well because I need to take out the old system, get rid of that and put the original system back in because I want my E60 back to original. Obviously, another bit of news for many of you guys. I know many of you guys will be happy with this. Some of you won't be happy with this. I've also got a customer who's got a Carrera 4S. Due to limited space in our unit, which is only down the road from me, we've got only 2 lifts and we've got 4 cars and 2 already on the lift and 2 are still waiting. I'm having to bring that customer's car here to this workshop. He's got a 4S, ball scored in all 6 cylinders, and it's something I'm going to be rebuilding. I'm going to be rebuilding that, and I am going to be documenting on this video because obviously he's going to want to sell it at some point in the future. And I think the videos are going to help him be able to sell that. Obviously, we'll have all the receipts, but also the videos showing how bad it was and what I've actually done to it should help him sell the car later on. Obviously, that's going to be coming up very soon, probably in the next 2 weeks. So we've got to get on with that as well. That's something that you guys need to look forward to as well, that we are going to be doing another 997, and I can't wait to do that again. Like I say, I enjoy rebuilding these. And like I said, you know, obviously it's a paying job. And obviously I'm looking forward to doing a 4S, considering this was the S version. Obviously that's the 4-wheel drive version. And it's the same thing, Tiptronic again. So it's going to be fun to do. But apart from that, guys, yes, we need to get the E61 in here. I need to service that gearbox before I do any other cars. I need to get that on the lift because that's very important. Gearbox fluid has never been changed, needs to be changed. And also, we need to sort out changing the air suspension because I think I'm going to put springs on it because, as many of you guys know, the air suspension isn't reliable. It's hard to maintain, it's costly to maintain, so it doesn't make sense. Obviously with the lift, it's very easy to do everything I need to do, take the airbags out and do whatever else, but it's not something I want to be really messing about with. My 60's still got a lot to do. And like I said, I've got all these cars, everything needs something. This is probably the only one, this Porsche right here, that doesn't need nothing. This box is completely sorted, doesn't leak, doesn't do nothing. It sits around more than it's used, but it doesn't have nothing. I think the only leak it had was from the windshield washer pump, with a little grommet, obviously over time, from heat, it being cold, decided to actually pop, so I put a new grommet in it and that's sorted it now. So this needs to go for MOT as well. Both of these need MOT because I haven't used this since last year summer. So it's right out of MOT, this needs to go off to be MOT'd as well. But like I said, guys, every car I've got, the E60 needs the bodywork done. Apart from that, car's perfect. E61 needs the gearbox service. Everything needs something. But I suppose it's the fun of it. It means I can make videos, and obviously it means I get to pass my time with all these cars. So, you know, I'm quite lucky I get to work on these cars and I get to do these cars because there's a lot of people that could only dream of being able to do all this and have the space I've got to be able to do it. So I'm quite fortunate for that. But as I said, guys, that's really it. That's all I wanted to do, is basically give you a heads up of what's actually going to be happening. Like I said, we have got the E61 to get on with, the E60, and we've also got a Carrera 4S and 997 going to be coming. That needs a rebuild also. So thank you very much for watching, guys. BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.